She's given it away to the Brahmin. So she decides the best thing is to order her ring and drink up that poison and die peacefully. And just as she lifts up that cup to drink the poison, she hears a little tinkle and she sees her nose stud in that cup of poison. How it got there was a mystery. Anyway, she was highly relieved that the nose stud was found. And she came hastening to Srinivas Nayaka and gave it to him. And Srinivas Nayaka was dumbfounded to see her nose ring with her. So now he comes back to the shop to look at the nose ring that he had safely locked away.
ಏನಾಯ್ತು ರಾಯ್ರೆ?
ನಾನು ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಮೂಗುತಿ ಇಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೆ.
ಹೌದು.
ಮತ್ತೆ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೆ. ಏನಾಯ್ತು?
ತಿಜೋರಿನಲ್ಲಿಟ್ಟು ಬೀಗ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದೀರಲ್ಲ?
ನನಗೆ ಪುನಃ ಮನೆಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ. ನೀನು ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಸರಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂಗಡಿ ಬಾಗ್ಲಾಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗು.
ಆಗಲ್ಲ.
Now he wanted to compare that with what he had locked up in his cupboard. When he comes there and opens the cupboard, after all he had checked a few times and secured it thoroughly before going out, he opens the box and finds the nose stud missing. Now how did it get out of that cupboard when it was all locked? Now he's totally mystified and he goes back to Saraswati to find out what exactly transpired.
ಸತ್ಯ ಹೇಳು, ನಿನಗೆ ಮೂಗುತಿ ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಬಂತು?
ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ. ಒಂದು ಬಡವ ಬ್ರಾಹ್ಮಣರು ಬಂದರು. ಅವ್ರ ಮಗನಿಗೆ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮೋಪದೇಶ ಅಂತ ಸಹಾಯಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಿದ್ದರು. ನನ್ನ ಹತ್ರ ಕೊಡಕ್ಕೆ ಏನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಏನು ಮಾಡಲು ತೋಚ್ತಾನೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನನ್ನ ತವರ ಮನೆಯಿಂದ ತಂದಿರೋ ಮೂಗುತಿ ಇತ್ತು. ಅದು ತಗೊಂಡು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ. ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಗೊತ್ತು ನನಗೆ.
ಅದು ಸರಿ, ಆ ಮೂಗುತಿ ಪುನಃ ನಿನ್ನ ಕೈಗೆ ಬಂತು ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು.
ನೀವು ಮೂಗುತಿ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ಕರೆಯುವಾಗ ನನಗೂ ತುಂಬಾ ಭಯವಾಯಿತು ಸ್ವಾಮಿ. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕೋಪ ಸಹಿಸಲಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಬಟ್ಲಲ್ಲಿ ಬಾಯಿ ಹತ್ರ ತಗೊಂಡು ಬಂದು ನೋಡಿದರೆ ಏನೋ ಶಬ್ದವಾಯಿತು. ನನ್ನ ಮೂಗುತಿ ಇತ್ತು. ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರೋದು.
ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಏನು ನಡೆದಿದೆ? ಅಯ್ಯೋ, ಎಂಥ ನಿರ್ಭಾಗ್ಯ ನಾನು. ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ ಪಾಂಡುರಂಗನೇ ಬಂದು ನನ್ನ ಹತ್ರ ಬೇಡುವಾಗ ನಾನು ತಿರಸ್ಕಾರ ಮಾಡಿ ಕಳಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ನಲ್ಲ. ಅದು ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಬೈದೆ ಅವನಿಗೆ. ಪ್ರಾರಬ್ಧ, ನಕ್ಷತ್ರಿಕ, ಅವಲಕ್ಷಣ, ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾತು ಹೇಳಿದೆ. ಅಯ್ಯೋ, ಸರಸ್ವತಿ,
ಏನ್ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ?
ನೀನು ಜ್ಞಾನ ಸರಸ್ವತಿ, ನೀನೇ ಪುಣ್ಯವತಿ. ಭಗವಂತನಿಗೆ ದಾನ ಮಾಡಿ ಪುಣ್ಯ ಕಟ್ಟಿಕೊಂಡೆ. ಆ ಭಾಗ್ಯ ನನಗಿಲ್ಲದೆ ಹೋಯ್ತಲ್ಲ ದೇವರೇ, ನಾನೇನು ಮಾಡಲಿ? ಇಲ್ಲ, ಹಣದಾಸೆ, ಹಣದ ಐಶ್ವರ್ಯ ನನ್ನ ಕಣ್ಣನ್ನು ಮುಚ್ಚಿಬಿಟ್ಟಿತ್ತು. ಇನ್ನು ನನಗೆ ಹಣವೂ ಬೇಡ, ಐಶ್ವರ್ಯವೂ ಬೇಡ, ಎಂಥದ್ದು ಬೇಡ. ಎಲ್ಲ ದಾನ ಮಾಡಿ ಆ ಭಗವಂತನ ನಾಮವನ್ನು ಹಾಡುತ್ತಾ ಅವನ ದರ್ಶನ ಆಗೋ ತನಕ ನಾನು ಹೋಗ್ತಾನೇ ಇರ್ತೀನಿ.
ನಾನು ಬರ್ತೀನಿ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ.
ಬಾ, ನಡಿ ಹೋಗೋಣ.
ಮನೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಸ್ವಾಮಿ?
ಮನೇನಾ? ನೀರು ತಗೊಂಡ್ ಬಾ, ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಕೃಷ್ಣಾರ್ಪಣಮಸ್ತು.
ನಡಿ.
Srinivas Nayaka went back to his house and asked Saraswati to tell him the whole story. Saraswati tells him that a poor Brahmin had come asking for the assistance, and since the only piece of jewelry that she owned was what she brought from her maternal home, was that nose stud, she gave it to him. He took that nose stud and went away. Srinivasa Nayaka asked her, "How did it come back to you then?" She says, "When you came and asked me to show my nose stud, I was petrified. I really didn't know what to do. I prayed to my Lord. I was hoping He would come to my assistance. But I felt He had failed me. And I couldn't think of anything else other than swallow poison and die. And just as I had mixed the poison and took the cup to my lip, I heard that noise. And I looked inside and I found that nose ring. That's all I know. I came and gave it to you. And that is the whole story, my lord." That is when Srinivas Nayaka realizes that he has indeed been blind all along. He says, "You are Jnana Saraswati. You understood the plight of the Brahmin and you gave him your nose stud and earned his blessings. What did I do? I stood there and abused him. Every kind of abuse that I knew, I heaped on him and kept mocking him and ridiculing him, and I sent him away every time. I feel so ashamed of myself." And then he says, "Yes, it is this wealth of mine that has blinded me. It is all this craving for amassing fortune that has made me totally oblivious of everything else, and that has been the root of my problem." Saying so, he says, "I will give away everything, and I shall give away all that I possess. I don't want anything, and let us go." And he says, "I will go singing the name of the Lord and hope that He will grant me the darshan that He granted you so easily." Saying so, he denounces and surrenders everything that he has. He calls people and gives away everything and tells his wife that now I need to go. So Saraswati says, "I shall also come with you, my lord." But being a woman, she's still a little worried. And she says, "What about our house?" So he says, "Oh, you're worried about our house? Never mind." So he takes two tulsi leaves and Saraswati pours some water over it. He throws it over the roof of the house, dedicates it to Lord Krishna and says, "Krishnarpanam," and they set off. Thus Purandara goes out with one tamburi in his hand and a pair of castanets and goes singing the name of the Lord, and thus began his compositions. He went on composing songs and went on singing them, went from village to village, spreading the name of the Lord and thinking of nothing else but Harinama. At one stage, while they were walking around like this, and he was singing, I have to tell you here that the first song that he composed was Adatella Volite Aitu. That is, whatever happened, happened for the best. And he gives full credit to his wife Saraswati for having shown him the true path of devotion. And he says in that song that may your home and may your maternal home prosper, and may they all be in good health and happiness. Saying that, he sings Adatella Volite Aitu and goes. At one stage, he gets a bit tired and he sits down. And his wife asks him to take a little rest. He falls asleep. In that sleep, he has a vision of Panduranga. So he's totally overcome. Panduranga tells him, "You go to Hampi in Vijayanagar, and there is a sage, Vyasaraya, whom you have to meet. And you will be given Diksha by him. So go forth and take his blessings." And so, Purandara and Saraswati Bai, they go to Hampi along with the family. In fact, the children also go along. And then when they go to Hampi, Vyasaraya is overjoyed because he feels, he has known that Purandara Dasa is going to come there sometime, and he is extremely overjoyed to see Purandara Dasa. And then he says, that please, I'm indeed very overjoyed to see you here, and he offers Diksha. Now once the Diksha is done, he tells him, now all your compositions you should dedicate to Purandara Vitala, and he names him Purandara Dasa. So Srinivasa Nayaka then becomes Purandara Dasa and goes around collecting alms and eating out of whatever is received from people. People willingly come behind him. They're mesmerized by his music and by the simple lyrics that are understood by the common man. So they go behind him, and a lot of people offer in kind, and that Saraswati Bai, at the end of the day, with great happiness, cooks, and they all eat. The children, 4 sons, and the wife, and Srinivasa Nayaka, who is now Purandara Dasa. So they all sit together and enjoy their meal. Life is difficult, but one of extreme simplicity, and he has absolutely no regrets. Several times there are temptations that come his way, but he is resolute about wanting to be on the same path forever. And thus, the story goes on.